What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Shabazz. Welcome to the channel. So this video was a long time coming, right? If you watch my weekly episodes, if you're not watching them, why aren't you watching them? Not playing. In my weekly episodes, I often bring guests on the show, and I exchange with them my top five, and they exchange with them their top five. Recently, I had Morgan the Leap on the show. Shout out to her. We exchange top tens, and I always say the same 10, but I never give a particular order except for One Piece, always at number one, and Yu Yu Hakusho is somewhere in my top five, always, right? So today we're gonna lock down our top 10 anime of all time as of April 11th, 2022. Right? Because down the line, maybe a year from now, I might revisit the list, and by that time, I've watched a plethora of different other anime, so I might want to add something in there, take something out. So we don't know, but for right now, April 11th, 2022, these are my top 10 anime of all time. But before I start my list, do me a favor and drop a like right now. Subscribe if you are new. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And without further ado, let's get right to. All right, so before we get to the number 10, for me, I gotta give out a few, and by a few I mean two honorable mentions, right? Honorable mention for Jujutsu Kaisen because season one was super fire. It's not on the list because although I really am hyped for it and I freaking love this show, it only had one season for me. It has potential to crack the top 10 for sure, but we gotta let it marinate. We gotta let it build a little bit more on top of the heat rock that it already had in season one. And the movie. I didn't see the movie yet. It's in my plans. I'm a busy guy. Whatever. So Jujutsu Kaisen, honorable mention number one. Honorable mention number two. And I recently had this in my top 10, but upon further review, I had some self-reflecting. I had a little training arc, a little time skip with myself, and some character development. You know, I'm a protagonist, you know what I'm saying? I realized that this wasn't my top 10. It has potential to grow into my top 10, but not right now. Not right now. So Tokyo Revengers. I've never seen a story like this before, right? A guy goes back in time to save a shorty he was in love with, and we meet so many dope ass characters like Baji, Mikey, Dragon. Like we got an antagonist that if you see him, you want to just give him a freaking, one of those real quick. And Kiseki, you got a lot of dope characters, and it was so good. Season one had a great impression on me. I read a lot of the manga. I actually read a lot of it. I didn't finish it. So maybe when it's further along the story, definitely will be in my top 10. But I read a lot and I was like, yo, you know what? This is some heat rock. I wanna savor the moment. This is one of those anime I want to enjoy the journey for. And I know what happens next. Although I haven't read it in a while. I'm just excited for season 2 and 3 and 4 and so on and so on and so on and how they continue on the story. And now here are my top 10 anime of all time. Number 10, Code Geass. Right? Man. Listen, right? Lelouch v. Britannia is one of the best MCs of all time. To go from hero to vigilante to source of everyone's anger to the reason why all of the peace in the world basically was achieved. Man, high IQ. The Geass is a dope ass power. Memorable side characters like Suzaku and C2. But the story was simple and straightforward. You know, like it started, it ended, it made sense. You feel me? There's a lot of loops, obviously, but when the knots got untied, you can see everything. You feel me? It started off with Heat Rock, and then with more suspense and twists and turns, it just got better and better and better. Some dull moments for sure, but holistically, Code Geass is one of the best anime I've ever seen. Number 9, we have Demon Slayer. And I'm gonna keep it a buck before I talk about Demon Slayer the anime. I was not a fan at first, and I hadn't even watched it yet. You feel me? But when I was a senior in college, and everybody was just on a bean. Like everyone was like, "Oh, the animation's fire! The animation's fire! The animation's fire!" And I'm like, "Yo, you watch it for the story. What's the story?" And everyone I asked at the time, they was like, "Oh, well, it's a dude who, saves his sister, becomes a demon." So the story seemed a little bland to me. But COVID happened and quarantine happened, so you watch a lot of anime, you watch a lot of stuff. Happened to be on Netflix. I was like, you know what? I'm bored one night. Let me give it a chance because everybody's on the bean. Let me see what the hype was all about. So then I watched it and I was like, this is kind of hard. Not gonna lie, this is kind of hard. Uh, the MC Tanjiro, he's lovable. He's definitely somebody that I could like wrap my arms around and like I can like root for the kid. Great side character, especially with season 2. You got Tengen, like you got Rengoku's one of the goats because for me, when he died, spoiler warning, when he died in the movie, I felt that in my soul, man. Like I was crying like a baby. You feel me? But yeah, I ain't hear that from me though. Wait. Uh, awesome animation, and I like where I think Demon Slayer was one of the first, and for what I've seen, where they knew the new generation of anime watchers were gonna get hooked on it, and they kind of started the wave of like spending a lot of time on the animation and like making sure it grabs the audience's attention. Tengen with his 3 wives, which is every boy's dream. Freaking like Inosuke being him. Like it just has great character. It shows great characters. It shows that it took its time and you can see the growth in all the characters. So it has a great balance of awesome animation, awesome like everything, awesome effects, all that. But the story isn't as bad. Like the story is pretty solid. So it helps. So number 9, it might grow further, higher and higher, depending on the flow of the story. But as of season 2, it's definitely number 9 for sure. Number 8, we have one of my personal favorites right now, Black Clover. It's one of my personal favorites because I kind of like saw it coming. I saw the potential in it off rip, and I was on the wave before everybody else was on the wave. Like everyone was like, "Oh, it's just a copy of Naruto." But I'm like, "Yo, like, let it marinate, let it gather some steam." You feel me? So like we see the similarities off rip with Naruto, but it becomes its own kind of story. And the author even took inspiration from Bleach, not Naruto. You feel me? Similarities to both for sure, but I think the author took inspiration from Bleach, not Naruto. So for all the Naruto stands, relax. You feel me? Relax. But it's arguably the best new gen out. I read the manga for this one and I'm up to date. And when I say some Heat Rock is coming, ladies and gentlemen, some Heat Rock is coming. It's on the way. It's on the way. Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. Amazing side characters. And Black Clover is one of the rare exceptions where a lot of anime do not know how to write female cast. And Black Clover has a great, not just side characters, right? You got Yami, you got Magna, Luck, all like cool. But in Julius Novachrono, OP, whatever, it has a great job writing the female cast. Noelle, especially if you read the manga, Noelle has done a complete 180. Because from people like my perspective of her in the beginning was I hated her. Now I can tolerate her. You feel me? I fuck with her. Maybe she still has some room to improve personally, But whatever. You got Marileona, who is literally, when you say the most like savage person in the show, that's not an understatement. Like this shorty would literally fight anybody for the sake of fighting. Like Black Air Force energy incarnate. And she's a dom. Hold on. Like, and then you got Nero, who's like basically like one of the like she's an old ass bird. She was an old ass magician back in the day. And she just her story with Asta, her parallel with Asta, they're just like she sees the potential in him before anybody else did. So it's kind of like reflection of me. Like I saw the potential of the show before anybody else. So Nero is just an amazing character. So we shall see how that goes. But for right now, number 8, Black Clover. This one might ruffle some feathers. This one definitely might ruffle some feathers. But we got Attack on Titan number 7. This anime is one of the best I've seen in a while. Pure story. I'm not talking about animation. I'm not talking about pacing. In terms of looking at the story, this is one of the best I've seen in a while. The mental gymnastics between what's real, what's fake, what's everything, and obviously spoiler warning, if you haven't watched season 4 part 2, do not, you can skip a little bit, talk about another anime, but the mental gymnastics between season 1, season 4 part 2, son, like it's just I can't even speak on it because it's so much about it where it's like what you think is not really what it seems like. For me, it's I can't even describe it. Like it's just awesome because it keeps you thinking, it keeps you on your toes. Levi's the GOAT for what he did to the Beast Titan. Aaron's the GOAT for what he did to Zeke, and just fucking fucked everything up. Literally fucked everything up. The story, it makes sense. It goes from people who like it goes from a man who wants to see what the outside world is like to then him being forced to see what the outside world is like. Because that's where freedom is. He didn't know, he knew there was some hidden like, yo, like there's more to these walls, but because the Titans attacked, he then had to find out what was the reason and what is behind the walls. So it shows his growth from like a boy to a man. And there are some points that low-key lost me, which is why it loses some points for me. Like the whole season 4 part 1, like the first half of it, I think was lost until I found out it was segueing into Aaron and the whole gang getting back together and fucking shit up. But until like before that, I was like, who the fuck is this? Who is this? Who is Gabby? Who is freaking this guy? Whatever. Who all these people? You feel me? And that part lost me. Depending on how that goes, it might be higher, it might be lower, it might be a lackluster ending. But I honestly think they shouldn't be doing another season. They should just end it right now. But marketability is very high, so I understand. But number 7 is Attack on Titan. Naruto is number 6 in my top 10 because it has one, and it's not even a bad thing. I'll get to why it's, I guess, so low in a lot of people, in my mind, compared to a lot of my contemporaries. It has one of the most iconic MCs of all time, right? One of the best dual antagonists of all time, right? Some of the more lovable side characters in all the anime, between not my personal favorite, but Sasuke is a lot of people's favorites. Shikamaru, Kakashi, Guy. You know, like there's a lot of like, and Hanada, cool. The female casting isn't the best. You feel me? But that's okay because it's overshadowed by the love of Naruto and Sasuke for a lot of people. Me, Naruto, I love him. Like he's one of my favorites of all time. Much as I enjoyed Naruto, keeping it a buck, I liked OG Naruto better because the side characters got a lot of shine. I'm all about great side characters. If you have great side characters, I am a fan. And Naruto Shippuden, though it did show light to some side characters, mainly the antagonists, If you wasn't Naruto and Sasuke or Shikamaru for that one arc against Datara, not Datara, fuck, Hidan, sorry, you was not getting no type of shine at all. Shino, super underrated. For me, there's a lot of characters that are super underrated who they all grew up together, so I'm pretty sure they all got strong. But if it wasn't a Naruto or Sasuke moment or Shikamaru for that one arc with Hidan, it was not happening. And that's kind of why it brings it down, because as I watch more anime, I appreciate Naruto for what it did for anime, but as I watch more anime, it's slowly making its way down because I realize I love side characters, and if an anime can portray good side characters, then for me that's even better. So right now it's number 6. As I watch more, it might go down. It will always be in my top 10. It will always be in my top 10. But the heartbreaking truth is that it'll be lower on my top 10 eventually. Sorry, Natty. My bad, G. You be alright. You tough, right? Yu Yu Hakusho, for me, is my 5th best anime of all time. It's one of the old school gems. If you know, you know. This has a big ass hold on the black community. One, because the OST is one of the best of all time. Top 3. Easily all time. The drip, my dude, the drip of the characters in the show is almost unmatched. Almost unmatched. I say almost because Bleach got some good drip too. Don't get me wrong. And One Piece definitely got the drip too. But for what it did for anime, it started the wave of 4-man teams. It started the badass side character who's a rival to the main character, along with Vegeta. Hiei and Vegeta were one of the 2 OGs that kind of paved the way for a Sasuke, and not a Zoro, but kind of like a Zoro too. Badass swordman, kind of dark, kind of demonic. Yeah, you feel me? One of the best MCs of all time. Yusuke Urameshi is a great story because it goes from a boy who didn't give a shit about nothing. He didn't care about nothing but himself. He didn't care about school. He only cared about Keiko, which was his baby girl, and himself and his family. To a man, a boy to a man who has to shoulder his own personal weakness at times, and he realizes that with the help of like his master Genkai, you're not a one man show. It takes you have people who care about you. And if you're watching this for the first time, when she says that speech to him before she inevitably dies, she it teaches you, like, as a viewer, like, yo, you're not a one man show. Although you are the main character of your own story, you have people who care about you. So you have to act in the best interest of not just yourself, but how your actions going to reflect on others around you, and how is that going to impact them. One of the best arcs of all the anime is the Dark Tournament. Do not at me. I don't care what you guys say. Dark Tournament, one of the best arcs of all time. This will forever be in my top 5. Yu Yu Hakusho, man. Yu Yu Hakusho will always be there. Number 5 for me. Number 4. The best new gen out right now. My Hero Academia takes the number 4 spot because, man, listen, boy, the anime is great. The manga, y'all don't hear me. Y'all don't hear me. The manga is legendary. Like, it takes in perspective so many questions that we've had, and if you're up to date with the manga, you know what I'm talking about. These anime only people, no offense, do not know what Heat Rock is on the way. They don't know what Heat Rock is on the way. And My Hero is just great. Lovable MC, Deku. Great enjoyable side characters. Not just great, but if you see them on your screen, you crack a smile. Like, hey, that's my son Kirishima. That's my son Mirio. That's my son. Not a lot of people like him, but a lot of people love him. Bakugo, feel me? That's my son All Might before he lost his powers. Endeavor, he definitely did a whole 180 for a lot of fans. But my hero has potential to be one of the best of all time. How it goes on, and I made a video about how I think it should end. If it ends even remotely close to that expectations I have, son, this will be one of the greatest anime of all time. But for right now, number 4 on my list, and it's doing it injustice to having number 4, but the top 3, it's on like it's right there, but it's not right there. You know what I'm saying? Number 4, My Hero Academia for sure. Number 3, right? These are when I say the best of the best, in my opinion, of course. Don't hate me. The best of the best. Number 3, in my opinion, the best story ever. You feel me? Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is without a doubt one of the best anime of all time. It is, a lot of people, is the greatest anime of all time for a lot of people, but I'll debate that with my number 1. The story was simple. It made sense. It started, it ended. No fillers, great pacing. It was short, simple, to the point, and it wrapped itself in a nice bow and gave you a great present. You feel me? Were there any plot holes? No. Everything made sense. Everything was explained. So many moments that had you like, what the hell? Twists and turns and loops around. Like, it kept you engaged the whole time. I can't say the same about the OG Full Metal Alchemist. I haven't watched that. I watched a couple episodes. I was like, what the fuck is this? I stopped watching it. Went to Brotherhood. This is what we're talking about. It started with some crazy shit, like off the rip. Like Attack on Titan started, that first episode was crazy. First episode of a Full Metal Alchemist was freaking insane. Like freaking insane. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest you should. Because between some of the best side characters, right? I got 3. Pride, the Homunculus Pride, Loki, GOAT, one of the GOATs. I don't know why. I just fucked with Pride. Roy Mustang, oh my God. Like, the loyalty that he shows to his men and to Hughes, my guy, and the teacher, I forgot her name, but the sensei of Edward and Alphonse. She's a GOAT. She's just awesome. The female cast is well written and they make sense. They are essential to the story. You feel me? And it's just enjoyable thoroughly. Like, if you watch it, you're gonna cry, you're gonna laugh, you're gonna enjoy every moment, and then at the end, you're gonna feel satisfied knowing that you watched it. And the reason why it's not number 1 is because I think it's the best story ever told, but not the greatest story ever told. It's like the Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning, right? I think Peyton Manning's the best quarterback I've ever seen. This is not a football thing, but I'm making it a connection. I think Peyton Manning's the best quarterback I've ever seen on the field. Or Aaron Rodgers, the best quarterback I've ever seen. But the greatest in terms of like personal accomplishments, or like because championship rings matter. Like I was about to say number 1, but Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Right? The best would be Peyton Manning or Aaron Rodgers, but the greatest is Tom Brady. Right? So the best anime of all time, I think is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, but not the greatest. Number 2, Dragon Ball, the franchise. I'll just put the whole franchise in there because it was my first. It's still my anime identity. Guys. You gotta put it high off rip, right? Great side characters between Piccolo, going from bad to good. You got Vegeta, one of the best, if not the best side character of all time, doing a complete 180 between being a Saiyan who has his pride, between being a Saiyan who has his pride with his family. He has a family now. And he kept it a stack. He was always honest. He always like, I'm not friends with this guy. I'm a rival. A lot of anime, like they kind of like enemy will like be friends with the main character or like whatever. Nah, Vegeta lost to Goku. Well, actually won. We ain't gonna get to that. But ever since he saw him, they were always going back and forth with each other. Moments where Vegeta was stronger than Goku, then Goku would come back and forth. So both of them were rivals, and that's what you want to see in a story. Like Frieza, racist tyrant. Cell was the perfect being, which led to Gohan being temporarily stronger than his father. Boo, Black Air Force energy incarnate. Shout out to CJ the Champ. Like, bro, like it's like it has great moments too. I could go on, but I got 5. Super Saiyan for the first time. Literally, like when I saw that shit, I was like, "Yo, what is this?" Because it led to something. It led to something. It was hyped up since the beginning of the Namek saga, and when we finally saw it for the first time, it excelled our expectations. We was hyped about, oh, what is a Super Saiyan? And then we finally saw it. It was okay. This is what a Super Saiyan looks like, right? The father-son Kamehameha. Legendary moment. Goku sacrifice, which led to the father-son Kamehameha. Emotional. I cried. It was dope. Vegeta versus Goku the first time and the second time at the Buu Saga. Like, yo, and then one of the best moments, and if you're a fan and I'm pretty sure if you're working out, you have the Super Saiyan 3 scream of Goku's transformation to Super Saiyan 3, you have that scream somewhere on your phone where you want to be inspired, you want to get hype, like you hear it, like you hear the room shaking. And then we did it in the Tournament of Power. That was fire too. You feel me? Dragon Ball Z is a GOAT. It's a GOAT. It's one of the greatest of all time. Not because of story. Some of the stories didn't make sense. Some of the plot holes, we was like, what the hell? A lot of hacks, a lot of stuff that rewritten would make it a better story. But for the impact it had on me as an anime fan, it was my first one. The fact that it did so much for me, and to this day, people still talk about Dragon Ball. People still talk about Dragon Ball Z. People still talk about Dragon Ball Super. Everyone is excited for the Moro arc when it comes back. Everyone's excited for the Dragon Ball movie that's coming back in like I think a couple months. So Dragon Ball has a hold, like it has a hold on not just myself but anime fans everywhere because that's where we all started. Ladies and gentlemen, y'all know if you're a regular reoccurring fan of mine or supporter of mine, you know what my number one is. It's One Piece. It's One Piece. It's One Piece. It's One Piece. This is hard because I watch a lot of anime, right? I'm not a power scaler. I'm not a toxic anime fan that's out here calling shows mid because unless you're bored, so joking. But ladies and gentlemen, One Piece is the greatest anime of all time. The greatest anime of all time, right? Between lovable MC, it has amazing side characters. We got Zoro.
What?
Robin.
What?
Doflamingo.
What?
Nami.
What?
Sanji.
What?
Katakuri.
What?
Law.
What?
Shanks.
What?
Rayleigh.
What?
Whitebeard.
What?
Ace.
What?
It has so many great side characters. Oh, I can go on and on for days about them. The best world building in all of anime. In all of anime, every arc is a new place. It's not going to the same spot and having another fight. No, it's literally island to island problem that they have to solve. And Luffy, he's not a hero. He said it. I'm not a hero. Heroes share everything. He wants everything for himself and have a banquet. He's a pirate. He understands the philosophy of what a pirate is. He knows he wants a high bounty because he knows that pirates are the bad guys, or so we think are the bad guys, until Doflamingo says whoever has the power determines what's is good or what is evil. And once he said that in Marineford, that really like flipped the switch of like, yo, this shit is not even like the pinnacle of what we're talking about. It doesn't even hit the surface. The world government doesn't like pirates. They want absolute justice, but are killing off other Marines. They're the bad guys in this, which is the other ironic part. Pirates are supposed to be the bad guys, but the Marines are the actual bad guys. Bro, what? Bro, I cried over a boat, bruh. I cried over a boat, bruh. When the Golden Mary burned and sunk into sea, I was crying. Spoiler warning, if you just started watching this, I'm sorry. When Ace died, I was an emotional wreck for a couple days. The journey itself is amazing. And I know it has 1,000 episodes. But when I watch an anime, I don't care how long it is. Because I'm not watching it to rush it and to just finish it in like a week. No. If you got time to watch it, watch it. I enjoy the story and will continue to enjoy the story. Because One Piece, as I said, is the greatest anime of all time. The difference is with One Piece, the moments are better, the characters are better, and it's not gonna stop. It's not gonna stop for a while. And I know the anime is on a hiatus, but it's not. It just keeps getting better and better and better and better forever. And the fact that people still call it mid because it's too long, it has terrible pacing, it has a lot, which is true. But for context, it's been going on since 1997. It's now 2022, and it's still going on. Well, except for the little hacking situation that Toei suffered, whatever. But for the better part of 24 years, because I'm 24, I was born when One Piece started. So for a better part of a quarter century, One Piece has been stand alone, consistently great. Y'all don't hear me though. Y'all don't hear me. Ladies and gentlemen, that does it for my top 10 anime of all time. I will say them all over in order. They are Code Geass, Demon Slayer, Black Clover, Attack on Titan, Naruto, Yu Yu Hakusho, My Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood, Dragon Ball, the franchise, I'll say, and One Piece. They might not be your top 10, but they are my top 10. So hopefully you respect it. Drop a like, subscribe if you're new, tell a friend to tell a friend, comment down below your favorite anime, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace!